Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about fighters that really need a statement win for this weekend. If you guys are new here, I did put a short up, a 60-second clip of saying which ones that need a statement win. But this one, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. But first off is Cody Stamann. Let's talk about Cody Stamann. He has 20 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. And he's 33 years old. He'll be 34 in November. And yeah, like I said, he's won one fight in a row. But he's 6-4-1 in the UFC. But he fought Aljamain Sterling 4 years ago, and he was 17-1 or 17-1 when he fought him. He lost that fight 17-2. Did win 2 of them by decision. Then lost to Jimmy Rivera by decision. Lost to Merab Dvalishvili by decision, then lost to Syed Nurmagomedov by guillotine choke very quickly in the first round, 47 seconds into it. Then he beat Eddie Wineland, did have a big win against him, finished him under a minute, but it's Eddie Wineland towards the end of his career. Beating a guy like Nuan Laceredo would be, especially if we can do it in a statement fashion, would be such a big thing for his career. And like I said, he really, really needs that really bad. I can't state it enough. I mean, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Again, I broke this fight down. I'm not going to go into all that or whatever, but they actually had him scheduled to fight Askar, and that would have been really interesting, but he's no longer with the UFC, unfortunately. But yeah, he's definitely a fighter that needs a win, a statement win. Not just a win, but a statement win in UFC 283. Then next is either or, Warlley Alves, Nicholas Dalby. I mean, Nicholas Dalby was in the UFC a long time ago. His UFC record is 4-3-1-1. And one of those is a loss. He was in the UFC back in back in 2015. He was 12-0. Beat Eliza Zaleski by decision, split decision. Then got a draw with Darren Till, and then he went on a 3-fight losing streak against Zach Cummings, Peter Sabata, Carlo Pedersoli. Like I said, all decisions, lost those, and then won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, got back into the UFC, was a no contest in there or whatever, but got back in the UFC, beats Alex Oliveira, loses to Jesse Ronson, that's what changed to no contest, beats Dana Rodriguez, and I thought Dana Rodriguez won, then loses to Tim Means, and Nicholas Dalby showed up in the 3rd round, didn't look great in the 1st or the 2nd, but looked pretty good in the 3rd, then beat Claudio Silva. Again, didn't look great, but got the win, got back on track. Then Warlley Alves. This is an interesting one because Warlley Alves, 14 wins, 5 losses, 32 years old. He's 8-5 in the UFC. But about that 8-5, he was 10-0 6 years ago. Lost to Brian Barberena, lost to Kamaru Usman, then beat Salim Tari, Sultan Aliyev. Lost to James Krause, knee and punches, got destroyed in that fight. Then beat Sergio Moraes. Then lost to Randy Brown, was submitted by him, which was a huge upset. Then beat Munir Laziz, body kicks in the 1st round. And then got absolutely destroyed by Jeremiah Wells. He's not too old to where it's like desperate, but he's still kind of teetering in that realm. He really, really needs a victory and needs a statement to let everybody know that he's still here and he can take big fights. Next one is Thiago Moises. Thiago Moises is a very, very interesting prospect. 16 wins, 6 losses, 27 years old, so he's not terrible like you have to. But again, he's on that cusp. 5-4 in the UFC, but about that is he was 11-2 when he fought Beneil Dariush just 4 years ago. Lost the decision to him, beat Kurt Holobaugh by decision, then lost 2 in a row. Oh, that's a stupid grappling thing. So he lost 1. Then he did beat Michael Johnson, looked terrible in the 1st. Then beat Bobby Green by decision. Beat Alexander Hernandez by decision. Came back in that fight, won that one. Same with the Bobby Green one. And same with Michael Johnson. Then lost to Islam Makhachev in a main event. Then lost to Joel Alvarez. And was destroyed in the Joel Alvarez one. And those two really, really show that there's some improvements that this guy has to make if he wants to be a contender in this division. Then he comes back and beats Christos Giagos in the first round by rear naked choke, which was pretty impressive. But again, Giagos isn't that big name. He's not a oh my God, he beat him. And Costa in this fight, it seems to me, and he's 19-5. I broke this fight down too. All these are on the in the channel. Or on the channel, you can go there and listen to them or watch them, whatever you can do that. But this is one of those fights to where upcoming guy, better record than him, he really needs to show out in this fight. He doesn't need to have that comeback victory. He needs a dominant, decisive win. Last one, but not least, is Johnny Walker. Actually, there's one more. Johnny Walker, a couple years ago, people thought he was going to be the next guy to beat John Jones. 19 wins, 7 losses. He's 30 years old now. But when he fought Corey Anderson, he was 17-3. Loses to Corey Anderson in the first round. Loses a terrible decision against Nikita Krylov. Nikita. Jesus. Krylov. Then beats Ryan Spann in a fight that he was getting beat up, hurt, rocked, comes back, finishes him. Then loses to another boring decision against Thiago Santos, and then gets absolutely destroyed by the main event. One of the main event guys, Jamal Hill, absolutely gets destroyed by him. Then beats Ian Cutelaba, who is not good at all in the UFC. He really, really needs another statement. If he goes in there, a statement win for Johnny Walker for this fight would be Johnny Walker going into this fight and beating the crap out of Paul Craig on the feet, taking him down and submitting him. That would be a statement win. I guess even if you went in there and he beat him up every single place he went, even if you couldn't get him out of there and his cardio looked good and he beat him up, there was no chance of Paul Craig getting a submission, no controversy, that would be good for Johnny Walker. But Johnny Walker desperately needs a win and a prove-it win. He really needs a statement win. Next one is Neil Magny. The reason why Neil Magny is on this list is because Neil Magny does good if you give him chances to be good. Neil Magny does not do good against pressure fighters. He does not do good if you are actually trying to get him out of there, not trying to win a decision, because Neil Magny, over and over and over again, he's proven you can't just expect to coast on him. And it happens. It happened against Max Payne. It happened against Daniel Rodriguez and Gilbert Burns. Neil Magny, the reason why, again, he's on this is because Gilbert Burns is such a jiu-jitsu guy. I would say he's probably better than Rafael Dos Anjos in that aspect. And I would imagine that's exactly what we're going to see out of Burns. Mixing in takedowns, going for submissions, and that's been the kryptonite of Neil Magny. We've seen it time and time again in his career. And again, Neil Magny, 36. I believe he'll be 37 this year. No, he'll be 36 this year. He's 20-8 in the UFC. And a lot of those losses, like guillotine choke against Shavkat Rakhmonov, Michael Chiesa beat him up, Santiago Ponzinibbio, when Ponzinibbio was Ponzinibbio, destroyed him in the 4th round. RDA arm triangle choked him. Lorenzo Larkin beat him. Damian Maia smushed him when he was, again, on another fight, big win streak. Sergio Moraes triangle choked him. Again, there's these issues. Okay, so he's been submitted. I guess it's not going to tell me. He's been submitted 5 times. 5 times. And, Sergio Moraes won. Damian Maia 2 smushed him. Rafael Dos Anjos arm triangle choke. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Absolutely, that is his kryptonite. And we've seen it time and time and time again. And we got to expect Gilbert Burns is going to go in there. He's going to try to do that exact freaking thing. So as always, guys, Leave your comments down below if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. If you don't agree, let's talk about it for sure. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel. And as always, you guys know what it is. Peace.